What is going on, everybody? DJ Minds here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the RTX 2060, but this time it's the 12GB version. This isn't exactly a new card, but in a way it is a new release of an old card, which made it a little bit different. So in HiveOS it's not always going to say RTX 2060 12GB. At times it would say some really weird stuff. I tried everything I could to fix this, and eventually it did end up working. So let's go ahead and use my new test bench and get this review going. There's definitely a lot of pros to this card, as again, this is an older card, but it's also new and it has 12GB. So the card that this reminds me the most of is the 1660 Super and the 1660 Ti. It performs very similar, not exactly the same. For Ethereum, a lot of people are getting 36 megahash. I was unable to get 36 megahash. For whatever reason, I could only seem to get to 29.8. I never once hit 30 megahash on Ethereum. It didn't matter what I did, whether that was negative core, that was zero on the core, plus, minus, I tried to lock the core, everything. It just was impossible for my personal card. And I'm wondering if that's because I have the EVGA Micron. I'm not really sure why, but a lot of other reviews that I watched, everyone was able to easily get 33 to 36 megahash. It could just be my card. Maybe I just got really unlucky with it. Now, one advantage that this 2060 has over the other cards, if you really think about it, is longevity, right? Because how much longer will you be able to mine with your 1660 Ti and your Super here? I mean, maybe a couple more years, and that's awesome. But at the same time, I mean, you should be able to use this card for probably the next 2 to 3 bull markets. I really genuinely think so. Now, will it be as efficient when we're in the 5000 series? Of course not, but you'll still have this card, and at around 95, 98, and sometimes 90 watts, I mean, it's not a terrible card by any means. It's definitely efficient. Again, not as good as these two here, but I would put it in like this same class here. So if we look at the next set of graphics cards, here we have the 3060 XC and also the 3060 Ti XC, and of course a 6600 XT. I do not have a non-XT 6600, but I do feel like it is around a 6600 performance with a little bit more wattage. Now, if we look at the 3060, I would definitely say it's pretty close, but again, with my particular card, with the silicon lottery, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong, it is definitely close to that 3060 range. And so yeah, it definitely performed somewhere in the ballpark of a 3060. I wouldn't quite give it the 3060 Ti. Again, these are both LHR, if I didn't mention that. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's as good as a 3060 Ti, so I definitely take that away. And it's not quite as good as the 6600 XT, so we could definitely throw that away. So yeah, closer to the 3060 Ti, but realistically a lot closer to the 6600. But let me know where you would place the 2060 based on the performance that we're about to get into right now. Now, this was one of the most stressful cards I have ever had to overclock. I think maybe because it's so new and Hive didn't want to recognize it. Again, it came off as something very strange on HiveOS. I'll be showing you that right now on the screen. This card was very unusual for me as a HiveOS user because anytime I would add to the core, for whatever reason, it would just stay locked at 94 watts. Again, I don't know if that's a HiveOS problem. I don't know whether I added 100, 200, 500. I tried 700, 750, 1000, everything you can think of. I locked the core, nothing had an effect. I could only get to 94 watts. Every now and then I'd get a little spike to 95, 96 watts. And as soon as I would start up the rig, it would be at like 130, 140 watts. So I had hope, and then immediately it would just lock out at 94 watts, regardless of the settings that I would try. 4 or 5 hours later, it was such a headache. I tried different drivers. I tried upgrading. I tried downgrading. I tried T-Rex. I tried LOL Miner. I think I tried G Miner. I tried everything that you could think of, every version that you could think of, and nothing was effective. It would just stay at 94 watts on Ethereum. Finally, many hours into it, I finally figured out this baby only likes -100 or -200 on the core. It was very weird because, again, I'm using Micron memory and everybody else is using Micron memory, and my card just wants to act crazy. So yes, I think the best settings that I found was -200 on the core, 0 on memory. That was 98 watts, and that performed at 29.6 megahash. Now, according to What to Mine, that's actually right about where I should be. So I can't be too disappointed with the performance here. It was just really frustrating when everybody's getting 5 to 6 more megahash than me, and they had no problems. And I don't know, this card is very stressful for Ethereum. Moving on to a fan favorite and a personal favorite of mine, Flux, which I do think will do very well long term. The card performed very well. I actually felt that 0 on the memory and 0 on the core was best for my particular card, where we got 39.64. We could push this to 43 souls or solutions, but that was at 176 watts. At 150 watts, it was marginal difference in between the two. And so I really felt like the sweet point was 0 on the core and 0 on the memory. For Flux, overclocking is generally rather easy, especially on the older cards. I really just add 100 here, take away 100 there, and really nothing negative. So yeah, Flux was pretty simple, and I thought it was okay, and it wasn't bad. We pretty much got exactly what we were supposed to according to what to mine. Moving on to Ravencoin, it really didn't perform too poorly at 17.1 on Kapow algorithm. Kind of the same thing there with Firo, but I felt like 100 core and 100 memory was where the sweet point was for this card at 140 watts. So if you wanted to compare this card to the A2000, I would say that for sure on Kapow algorithms, this card performs better, but there is a lot more wattage, right? So at 70 watts, the A2000 would be a lot more efficient than this card. So this card isn't super efficient on this algorithm in particular. All right, so in summary, would I recommend this card? Honestly, it's not bad at all. I think I paid $450, 470 shipped. It's decent. It's a pretty good card, especially in the GPU market. We are now at like February 13th of 2022. It's a pretty decent deal. It's not bad at all. Yeah, if you want to go for pure efficiency, I would definitely say go for the 1660 Ti or the 1660 Super. But again, with only 6 gigs of VRAM, how much longer can you use these cards? You probably can a couple more years, but you'll know that this card is pretty much a card for life. So a $470 investment, a 90 to 100 watts, depending on the algorithm, up to 120, 130, a card that you'll use pretty much the rest of your life. I mean, I don't know, it'd be like the modern RX 580, but like 6 years from now, I think you'll be looking at this card or a card similar to this in the same position. Again, if you are feeling generous, you could say that it could battle out with the 3060, but just not this particular model or not my card. If you were getting 36 and you're getting 36 on the fully LHR 3060 at around the same watts, it's really not a bad deal. Now, would I pay scalper price for this card? Absolutely not, but under $500, oh yeah, it's not a bad pickup. I don't think I personally will be getting a whole bunch of these, but if they did fall into my lap for the right price, yeah, I probably would get a rig or two, because again, it's not bad. It's not the greatest cards ever, but it's still a pretty decent card, and it was actually a lot better than I thought it was. And thank you for making it to the end of my video. If you like this video, please like it and consider subscribing. This is the first time I've ever done a review like this. I'm testing it out. It was a lot more work than our usual just talking head video or me holding up my arm, as you can see. But yeah, let me know if you like this style, if this is for you. If it's not, that's perfectly fine. Honest feedback. Yeah, if you like it, maybe we'll do it more, because I want to get a little bit better content for you guys for videos like this that deserve it, because testing it took all freaking day for specifically Ethereum. Every other one was just fine. We did open up our mining garage. I think it's a garage. People were saying not a shed. So if you haven't checked that out, I released that video, I believe today or yesterday when you're watching this. Check that out, man. We have our own crypto garage. It's freaking cool. I love every single one of you. If you made it to this part of the video, please put it in hashtag I made it. Join the Discord, check us out on Twitter, and join the Instagram. I'll catch you guys on the next one. DJ Minds signing out.